Shanti, Shanti. I chose to begin with the peace mantra, as all the enlightening speakers and great thinkers before me have continually talked about love, peace and tolerance. His Excellency Sheikh Nahyan, he emphasized that whatever you want to do on this earth, whether it's environment, whether it's peace, whether it's progress, they can't be done without tolerance and human fraternity. So in the beginning, I will take this opportunity to thank the rulers and the leadership of the UAE for arranging this historic global conference, the first of its kind to send a signal to the world. We also thank the Muslim Council of Elders and all of you participants who have come from far afield with your passion and love in your heart. And I also feel that this conference is the need of the hour. If there was a greater need than growth, if there was a greater need than economic stability, if there was a greater need than health, wealth and development, and perhaps if there was a greater need than facing the challenges of climate change, I believe all of you agree it is human fraternity. In the words of the former and late and the most beloved President of India, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, he said that until we as humans learn to happily talk and walk together, until we as humans learn to happily share and care for each other, even boundless progress and prosperity is useless. So what if we upgrade our cities and our countries? So what if we upgrade our world? But if we downgrade human lives and human relationships, everything is worthless. And this conference gives us the critical choice. I think all of us are intelligent enough and wise enough to know that we have a choice before us. And the question is critical. Whether we choose to unite and flourish together, or we choose to disunite and perish forever. The choice is clear. And I believe all the leaders and all the inspiring speakers has emphasized this in one or another way. But as we think about it, when we sit for this conference, and as this is the inaugural session, I don't want to repeat everything that the learned speakers have said before me, but I just want to bring your attention to two simple facts. If in this conference we feel that we are here to find solutions or seek solutions, I have a bit of advice. Before we seek solutions, let us learn to ask the right questions first. If we ask the right questions, solutions will find their own way to us. I remember somebody asked me a question, I'm still searching for a solution. Please help me even after this conference. Somebody told me that at no point in history there have been more peace conferences, peace summits, peace seminars, peace gatherings, peace books, peace talks. Then why is it that in our world the highest earning industry is armaments? It's a question. There's a question that keeps bugging me, which I want you to try and find an answer in this summit. The question is that in this age where we are going out of our way for entertainment, resorts, theme parks, water parks, hotels, thematic destinations, movies, virtual reality, customized games, and also video systems that has actually been designed to entertain society, then why is it in our world the surest selling medicines are antidepressants? Why? We need to ask the right questions. And at no point in history there have been more positive thinking books, lectures and seminars, and people like us roaming the earth talking about positivity in the world, including religious leaders. Then why does research tell us that 80% of our thoughts are always negative? We need to rise beyond this and ask the right questions. So my request to all the participants who are intelligent, informed and inspired, when we break out into breakups, please ask the right questions from human fraternity, and I believe Allah, God, will give us the right solutions. Do not seek solutions, ask the right questions. The most important thing that I want to also emphasize, Albert Einstein, one of the greatest scientists the world has seen, he once said, very interestingly, that if I had a problem and my life hung upon it, if I had a problem and my life hung upon it and I had only 1 hour to solve that problem, I would spend 55 minutes asking the right questions. The answer will emerge in the last 5. Because we have stopped asking ourselves. As somebody mentioned, that nobody is innocent in this game of challenges. Because we have stopped asking the questions. When you ask the right questions, human fraternity becomes the logical answer. Our spiritual head, Param Pujya Brahmavihari Swami Maharaj, he encouraged me to ask the question, and I want to share that with you. The question was, what nationality is the sun? Is it Russian, American, Emirati, Indian, Chinese? The sun is beyond nationality. It is there for those who want to see light. What religion is water? Is it Muslim, Christian, Jewish, Buddhist, Hindu? Water is beyond religion. It is there for those who are thirsty. What class does earth belong to? The higher, the lower, the middle class? Earth is there for those who want to stand and walk. What color is air? Is it black, white, brown, yellow, red? It is beyond race and skin color. Air is there for those who want to breathe and survive. And then, what race does space belong to? Just because man went to the moon, that doesn't mean we own space. Space is there for those who want to explore and widen their horizons. Just as the basic elements of creation, earth, water, light, air and space, they are all universal, owned by nobody and enjoyed by everybody. If creation is universal, then the Creator definitely is universal. And if religion is supposed to be the path to that Creator, be it any religion, if religion is genuinely supposed to be a path to that Creator, then religion itself intrinsically has to be universal. Growing up as a young Hindu, I remember that we have been taught that every religion is a goldmine of values. We have been taught, as other speakers mentioned, that we are Amrutasyam Vayam Putraha. We are the children of the immortal God. We have also been taught Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, the whole world is one family. Every religious person has quoted this in his or her way. But we have also been taught Ano Bhadraha Kratavo Yantu Vishwataha. Let noble thoughts come to us from every side. Because the presence of God is everywhere and in everyone and in everything. If we understand these values, growing up on these values, and as I came, and I want to tell you in all honesty and all humility as I stand before you, I don't want to take out leaves from the past. I don't want to go back to history. We need to face the future, and that future comes from the present. So as I stand before you in your humility, all these ideas of broad-mindedness, welcoming all ideas, giving a home to all different cultures, in the last 2 years I have discovered them in the United Arab Emirates.
Yeah.
You have been able to bring in ideas from across the globe, and look what a miracle and wonder that has happened. You have given home to almost 200 nationalities, and how homely people feel. Tolerance and human fraternity is not just a beautiful word or a meaningful idea or a value here. Let me be specific. Tolerance and human fraternity and love in the UAE are verbs and not nouns. Verbs mean they are in action. I can write the poetry and we can have great conferences on all these ideas, but unless they are in practice and in action, they are meaningless. And it's not just that. Every culture and every country believes in tolerance, love, and human fraternity. But which country has gone out of the grid and created a ministry of tolerance and happiness? Which country has created ministers? Which country has taken tolerance so seriously that has created policies, laws, and bylaws? Which country is celebrating a whole year on tolerance? And I congratulate the leadership and rulers of UAE for going this far to bring back a value which really makes a purpose. And this is not just a lip service. Recently, if I can frankly, openly tell you, 2 days ago, an international reporter asked me that, Swamiji, do you think tolerance in the UAE is cosmetic? I smiled and I said, friend, not at all. Tolerance in the UAE is not skin deep. It is the very soul of the entire country. We have felt this soul of warmth, love and affection. And I stand before you as the living proof. We have felt that soul of love, warmth and affection when His Highness the Crown Prince of Abu Dhabi, His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, he welcomed us in the presidential palace, 2 monks from Hinduism. And not only did he welcome us in front of hundreds of world dignitaries, he gifted us 13.5 acres of land to build the first traditional stone Hindu temple in Abu Dhabi.
Wow.
Tolerance is not just a word. It's in action. It's in affection. But I still remember that time when I was thanking both the Prime Minister of India, Shri Narendra Bhai Modi, and His Highness the Crown Prince of Abu Dhabi. Obviously, the protocol told us that you are not supposed to talk to the Crown Prince. Then I asked the protocol, what if the Crown Prince talks to me? And that's what exactly happened. It's reaching out. Many times we wait for the other person to reach out to you. I think this global conference is for us to reach out to others. That's what we have felt in the UAE. But when we were close together, the Prime Minister of India very smilingly and affectionately told me that Brahmavihari Swami, the Crown Prince and I, meaning him, we are, the two of us are like brothers. That's when the Crown Prince drew me closer and said, all three of us are like brothers. What more do you want for human fraternity or tolerance than from the heart of the King? But that same feeling we have felt when we met His Highness Sheikh Abdullah bin Zayed Al Nahyan. He specially came to the Akshardham temple. Not did he only come, he went inside. But while he was leaving the stone temple, like a simple pilgrim, he sat on the steps to put his footwear. What humility! Every time we have met him for this temple, they have not just asked questions, they have encouraged us to do the best and create an iconic landmark. And talking about His Excellency Sheikh Nahyan, I believe for him, tolerance has no limit. Not only has he accepted us, but he respects us and he considers us as a part of the larger family. But it doesn't end there. You know the miracle that happens when you do a gesture of generosity and human fraternity? The fact this land was given, it has united the entire Hindu community and Indian community all over the world for this beautiful temple. But just imagine a Muslim country giving land for a Hindu temple and a leading architect who is an Irish Catholic and the entire consultant is a communist atheist. What a combination for the beautiful BAPS Hindu temple in Abu Dhabi. The whole world has got together in an example of human fraternity. So I would want to tell you that this idea of human fraternity has its roots in the founding father of this nation, as Sheikh Zayed himself often said, to respect every person of whatever his creed or race, as a special soul is a mark of Islam. He emphasized that tolerance is our duty. Similarly, our spiritual head, Brahmavihari Swami Maharaj, also said religion should be that spreads love and brings us closer together. In the year 2000, the Millennial Peace Summit in the United Nations, where almost 2,000 world religious leaders had gathered, Brahmavihari Swami Maharaj just left one message which I would want to leave you with. He said, a dialogue alone is not good enough. All you leaders and religious leaders should have dialogue with other religious leaders. When leaders of two religions meet, it lessens the bitterness amongst the followers and creates an environment of peace and harmony. But that dialogue should not be limited to religious leaders alone. It is the responsibility of leaders and opinion makers to have a further dialogue with your followers and your friends. To have a set of dialogue different here and a different there will have no meaning. We need to go back to our followers and our friends and tell them that if there is a Hindu, to be a better Hindu is more important. A Jew should be a better Jew. A Muslim should be a better Muslim. A Christian should be a better Christian and a Buddhist should be a better Buddhist. If all of us decide to be better followers of our own faith, the world will be a complete human fraternity. There should not be any issues. To emphasize that horizontal spread is not that important as vertical depth of the life of a follower. And thirdly, he said, each one of us should have an honest dialogue with our own heart. Are we really honest to the teachings of our own founders of our faith? Are we truly believers? If we are honest to our own selves, then we'll find harmony and peace all around us. Let me tell you, when you talk to your heart, the world listens. When you talk to the world doesn't listen. So the third dialogue has to be for us within ourselves, or where do we stand? And human fraternity as a part of the ending remark of this global conference. First, ask the right questions. God will give us the answers. Second, have dialogues at a 3-level way. Last, when you talk to yourself, the world will listen. But when something emerges from our own heart, it will reach every heart. I'll leave you with one of the classiest friendship which summarizes human fraternity. I would end with Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, who was one of the most profound nuclear scientists of India, the most loved president, the most educated, most compassionate. But before he passed away, after writing many bestseller books, his last book was Transcendence. Transcendence meaning, can we transcend the divisions and fences that divide us? Dr. Kalam became friends with a Hindu spiritual leader, Pramukh Swami Maharaj. Look at the contrast. Kalam had 48 PhDs from 48 universities. The Hindu sadhu was hardly educated. Kalam was a scientist, the sadhu was a spiritual man. Kalam was in a position of power, the president, the sadhu technically had no position. Kalam could not understand Gujarati, the language of the sadhu could not understand English. Kalam was a profound practicing Muslim and the sadhu was a leader of a Hindu faith. But when they met, a heart-to-heart talk, fraternity emerges. If it's not a mind-to-mind talk or a mind-to-heart talk, it has to be a heart-to-heart talk. And then Kalam writes that Pramukh Swami Maharaj was the ultimate teacher of my life, who showed me that there is a world beyond differences. If such a friendship can happen across language, position, power, education and growth, I believe all of us are capable of reaching out to each other through the heart. And when you talk to the heart, I'll leave you a message. With all said and done, while you are leaving the conference, there will still be some whispers and stray voices telling us that human fraternity is just a dream. It just can't be possible. But I'm here to tell you that so was landing on the moon once a dream, but it happened. So is colonizing Mars a dream, but it will happen. It is because we have stopped dreaming that nothing really happens. And what better place to dream about human fraternity and work towards human fraternity than the UAE, which has given home to hundreds of dreams and realized the future of mankind. Let me leave you with a thought that whatever happens, our effort as sincere individuals to live the dream of our founders, of the founders of our faith, when one day, long after you and I are no longer here on earth, long after you and I are no longer here on earth, the world will still say, love is stronger than death, peace is stronger than war, and harmony is stronger than hate. Thank you very much. Please keep me in your prayers as I shall keep you in mine. Thank you again.
شكرا للموقر سوامي برahmavihari على هذه الكلمة.
With great thanks to Brahmavihari Swami and to all our speakers this morning.
السادة العلماء الأجلاء أصحاب المعالي والسعادة ضيوفنا الكرام، بهذه الكلمات نكون قد رفعنا سقف التوقعات إلى سماوات بعيدة ونحن بعد في بداية هذا المؤتمر، وعليه ندعوكم إلى الاستراحة القصيرة الثانية، ونلتقي بكم بعد 5 دقائق من الآن لنبدأ أعمال هذا المؤتمر في جلسته الأولى